about that war, it was on every channel. And every channel has slightly different wars. You notice that? Hey, you didn't like what's going on one channel, try another one, maybe your side just went over there. And the war got good ratings, didn't it? Got good ratings. Well, we like war. We like war. We're warlike people. We like war because we're good at it. And you know why we're good at it? Because we get a lot of practice. It's only 200 years old and already we've had 10 major wars. We average a major war every 20 years in this country, so we're good at it. That's a good thing we are. We're not very good at anything else anymore. Can't build a decent car, can't make a TV set or a big pot. Got no steel industry left, can't educate our children, can't get health care our old people, but we can farm the shit out of your country all right, huh? Especially if your country is full of brown people. Oh, we like that, don't we? That's our new hobby. That's our new job in the world, farming brown people. Iraq, Panama, Grenada, Libya. Hey, you got some brown people in your country. Tell them to watch the fuck out. Real goddamn farmers. Well, when's the last white people you can remember we farmed? Can you remember the last white people? Can you remember any white people we ever farmed? The Germans are the only ones. But that's only because they were trying to cut in on our action. They wanted to dominate the world. Bullshit, that's our job. Now we only farm brown people. Not because they're trying to cut in on our action, just because they're brown. Hey, something else you might have noticed about that war. Once again, God was on both sides. God has been on both sides in every war since the beginning of time. God likes to hedge his bets. You're probably beginning to notice that I don't feel about this war the way we were told we were supposed to feel about this war, the way we've been ordered and instructed by the United States government to feel about this war. See, my mind doesn't work that way. Me, I got this real moron thing I do. It's called thinking. And I'm not a very good American because I like to form my own opinions. I don't just roll over on command. Sad to say, most Americans just roll over when they're told to. Not me. I have certain rules I live by. My first rule, I don't believe anything the government tells me. On any subject. And I don't take very seriously the media or the press in this country, who in the case of the Persian Gulf War were nothing more than unpaid employees of the Department of Defense, and who most of the time function as kind of an unofficial relations agency for the United States government. So I don't listen to them, I don't really believe in my government, and I gotta tell you the truth, folks, I don't get all choked up about yellow ribbons and American flags. I consider them to be symbols, and I leave symbols to the symbol-minded. I look at war a little bit differently. To me, war is a lot of trick-waving. Okay, war is nothing more than a whole lot of trick-waving. It's a lot of men standing around in a field waving their tricks to one another. Men are insecure about the size of their dicks, and so they have to go to war over it. That's what all that asshole jock bullshit is all about. That's what all that adolescent, macho, male posturing and strutting in bars and locker rooms is all about. It's called dick fear. Men are terrified that their pricks are inadequate, so they have to compete with one another. And since the ultimate competition is war, basically men are killing one another in order to improve their self-esteem. You don't have to be a historian or a political scientist to see the bigger dick foreign policy theory at work. It sounds like this. What? They have bigger dicks? Bomb them! And of course the bombs and the rockets and the bullets are all shaped like dicks. It's a subconscious need to project the penis into other people's affairs. It's called trucking with people. So as far as I'm concerned, the whole thing in the Persian Gulf was nothing more than a big prick-waving dick fight. In this particular case, Saddam Hussein had challenged the size of George Bush's dick. And children to die. Yeah. Even the name, Bush, is related to the genitals without being the genitals. Bush is kind of a passive secondary sex characteristic. Now, this man's name had been George Boner. Well, he might have felt a little bit better about himself, but we wouldn't have had any trouble over there in the first place. This whole country has a manhood problem. Big manhood problem in the USA. You can tell from the language we use. Language always gives you away. What did we do wrong in Vietnam? We pulled out. Not a very manly thing to do, huh? When you're fucking people, you gotta stay in there. We left a few people alive in Vietnam, and we haven't felt good about ourselves since. That's why in the Persian Gulf, George Bush had to say, this will not be another Vietnam. He actually used these words. He said, this time we're going all the way. Imagine that, an American president using the sexual slang of a 13-year-old to describe his foreign policy. You want to know what happened in the Persian Gulf? Just remember the names of the two people who were running that war. Dick Cheney and Colin Powell. Somebody got fucked in the ass. Good. Now I'd like to talk about some things that bring us together, okay? Things that point out our similarities instead of our differences. Because there's enough shit floating around this country to make you feel different from everybody else. Make you feel separate. That's the only thing that's ever emphasized and pushed in this country by the media and the politicians, those things that make us separate. That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They try to divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the fucking money. A fairly simple thing, and it happens to work. Anything that's different about us, you know that. That's what they're always pushing. Racial differences, religious differences, ethnic and national differences, jobs, income, education, sexual identity, social status, anything they can do to keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank. You know how I describe the social and economic classes in this country? The upper class keeps all of the money, pays none of the taxes. The middle class pays all of the taxes, does all the work. The poor are there just to scare the shit out of the middle class. So, in the midst of stirring up the shit myself a little bit from time to time, I do like knowing and remembering that I can always come back to these little things that make us all the same. Little things we share, even though there's experiences we've all had, hardly ever talk about. Do you ever look at your watch, and then you don't know what time it is? So you have to look again, and you still don't know the time. So you look a third time. Somebody says, what time is it? You say, I don't know. Do you ever notice how sometimes all day Wednesday, you keep thinking it's Thursday? And it happens over and over all day long. And then the next day, you're all right again. Did you ever find yourself standing in one of the rooms in the house, and you can't remember why you went in there? And one word flashed across your mind, Alzheimer's. You ever been talking to yourself and somebody comes in the room and you have to make believe you were singing? And you hope to God the other person really believes there's a song called What Do You Think I Am? Some kind of butts? Little experiences we've all had. You ever been sitting on a railroad train in a station and there's another train sitting right next to you and one of them starts to move and you can't tell which one? When you're out in a small boat on a windy day, rough waters, 3 or 4 hours standing in a small boat, trying to keep your balance, rocking back and forth, and then you come into the shore and you stand on the dock, and you swear there's still something inside you. How about, did you ever try to pick up a suitcase that you thought was full, but it wasn't? You go, and for just a split second you feel really strong. How about when you're looking through a chain link fence? Do you ever notice sometimes when you're just the right distance away from a chain link fence, it seems to go, what is that? How do they do that? Did you ever try to tell somebody to have a little bit of dirt on their face? You can never get them to rub the right spot, can you? So, I got a little bit of dirt. Right here. They always go, where? Here? And you just want to slap it there. You say, no, right here near your eye. Do you ever notice how awful your face looks in a mirror in a restroom that has fluorescent lights? Every cut, scrape, scratch, scar, stab, wart, bruise, bump, pimple, zit, boil, welt, and abscess you've had since birth. All seem to come back at the same time. The only thing is, I gotta get the fuck out of here! Before somebody thinks I really look like this. Do you ever notice when you're walking with your arm around your gait, one of you has to change the way you're walking? Men and women don't walk the same. One of them has to change. Either the man has to walk like this, the woman has to walk like this. How about when you go up the stairs? How about when you go up a flight of stairs and you think there's one more step? And then you have to kind of keep doing that. It can be even something you do all the time. Do this all the time. That's the third step. Is this going to work? Yeah. A wired mic, a regular real cable mic, I can use for the time goes through the electric. You know? Okay, same thing happens when you're going down. Start it up. Get that hamster moving. Fucking Radio Shack now. When you drink grapefruit juice in the morning, do you go, I do too. Why do we drink it? It's like ice cream throat. You know when you eat ice cream too fast and you get that frozen spot in the back of your throat, and there's nothing you can do about it because you can't reach it to rub it? You just have to kind of wait for it to go away. And it does. Then what do you do? Eat more ice cream! What, fucking stupid! Do you ever fall asleep in the late afternoon, then you wake up after dark, and you don't know what goddamn day it is?
I got to go to work yesterday.
I want to give a leg to your head on the pillow. A little more PA, folks. I can hear myself just a little more. How about when you're lying with your head on the pillow? Do you ever notice when you're on the pillow, if you close the bottom eye, the pillow is down there. And if you switch eyes, the pillow moves. Holy shit, man. Look at this. The mystery of the moving pillow. I think it's related to the chain link fence mystery. Do you ever notice just before you belch, you have an option? Should this one be audible? Or should I keep this one to myself and sneak it past the gang? You know how you do that? You open your throat to its roundest configuration, thereby allowing the column of foul air to escape. It sounds like this. There's a moment like that, which can taste the hot dog you had 6 weeks ago. Got a bargain, the hot dog. Still paying off a month and a half later. real inflation fighter. Do you ever have to sneeze while you're taking a piss? It's frightening, isn't it? It's frightening because actually you can't do it. It's physically impossible to sneeze while pissing. Your brain won't let it happen. Your brain says, stop pissing! We're going to sneeze now! But your brain knows. You might blow your asshole out. And wind up having to paint the entire apartment. Now, something else we have in common. Flying on the airlines. Flying on the airlines and listening to the airlines announcements and trying to pretend to ourselves that's the way the language really ought to be used. They do abuse the language on the airlines. And I'm not looking for perfect English, just sensible language. Doesn't exist. Start when you get to the gate. First announcement. We would like to begin the boarding process. Extra word, process. Not necessary. Boarding is enough. We'd like to begin the boarding. Simple. Tell us the story. People add extra words when they want things to sound more important than they really are. Boarding process. It sounds important. It isn't. Just a bunch of people getting on an airplane. People like to sound important. Weathermen talk about shower activity. Shower activity sounds more important than showers. I even heard one guy on CNN refer to a rain event. Swear to God, he said Louisiana's expecting a rain event. I thought, holy shit, I hope I can get tickets to that. Emergency situation. News people like to say, oh, they responded to an emergency situation. No, they haven't. They responded to an emergency. We know it's a situation. Everything is a situation. Anyway, as part of this boarding process, they say, we would like to pre-board. Well, what exactly is that? What does it mean to pre-board? You get on before you get on? That's another complaint of mine. Too much use of this prefix pre. It's all the language now. Pre this, pre that. Place the turkey in a preheated oven. It's ridiculous. There are only two states an oven can possibly exist in, heated or unheated. Preheated is a meaningless fucking term. It's like pre-recorded. This program is pre-recorded. Well, of course it's pre-recorded. What else you gonna record it afterwards? That's the whole reason we're recording, to do it beforehand. Otherwise it doesn't really work, does it? Pre-existing, pre-planning. You want to tell these people, pre-suck my genital situation. And they seem to understand what I'm talking about. So anyway, as part of this pre-boarding, they say, we would like to pre-board those passengers traveling with small children. Well, what about those passengers traveling with large children? Suppose you have a 2-year-old with a pituitary disorder. You know, a 6-foot infant with an oversized head. They're trying to keep you seeing the National Enquirer all the time. Actually, with a kid like that, I think you're better off checking a wagon with your luggage to the curb. Well, they like it under there. It's dark. They're used to that. Up this time, someone is telling you to get on the plane. Get on the plane, get on the plane. I say, fuck you, I'm getting in the plane. Let you people get on the plane. I'll be in here with you folks in uniform. There seems to be less wind in here. They might tell you you're on a non-stop flight. Well, I don't think I care for that. No, I insist that my flight stop. Preferably at an airport. There's no sudden unscheduled cornfield and housing element stops that seem to interrupt the flow of my day. Here's one they just made up. Near miss. When two planes almost collide, they call it a near miss. It's a near hit. A collision is a near miss. Look, you hear me dance. They might tell you your flight has been delayed because of a change of equipment. Broken plane. What they really mean is we're looking around for a plane that isn't broken. Tell me it's a non-smoking flight. Well, fine. That means the seats aren't on fire. I'm a happy guy. Tell me to put my seat back forward. Well, I don't bend that way. I can put my seat back forward and get one of those. Then they mentioned carry-on luggage. First time I heard carry-on, I thought they were going to bring a dead deer on board. Well, I don't think that. I don't see dinners anymore. Then I thought, carry on. There's going to be a party. People are going to be carrying on the plane. Well, I don't care for that. I like a serious attitude on the plane, especially on the flight deck, which is the latest euphemism for cockpit. Can't imagine why they wouldn't want to use a lovely word like cockpit, you know? Especially with all those stewardesses going in and out of it all the time. Speaking of safety, as soon as they close the door of the aircraft, that's when they begin the safety lecture. I love the safety lecture. This is my favorite part of the plane ride. I listen very carefully to the safety lecture, especially that part where they teach us how to use the seatbelts. Imagine this. Here we are, a plane full of grown human beings, many of us partially educated, and they're actually taking time out to describe the intricate workings of a belt buckle. Place the small metal flap into the buckle. Well, I asked for clarification at that point. Pardon me, over here, please. Yes, thank you very much. Did I hear you correctly? Did you say place the small metal flap into the buckle, or place the buckle over and around the small metal flap? I'm a simple man and not just an engineering degree, nor am I mechanically inclined. Sorry for taking up so much of your time. Please continue with the wonderful safety lecture. Seatbelts. High-tech shit. The next thing they do, they tell you to locate your nearest emergency exit. I do this immediately. I locate my nearest emergency exit, and then I plan my route. You have to plan your route. It's not always a straight line, is it? Sometimes there's a really big flat box sitting right in front of you. Well, you know it's going over here. I look around for women and children, midgets and dwarfs, cripples, orphans, paralyzed veterans, people with broken legs, anyone who doesn't move too well, emotionally disturbed, very good for this purpose. You might have to find a way to find these people, but you'll get out of the plane a lot goddamn quicker, believe me. I say, let's see, I'll go around the flat box, step on the widow's head, push the children out of the way, knock down the paralyzed midget, and get out of the plane where I can help others. I would be of no help to anyone if I'm lying unconscious in the ire of some big cocksucker standing on my head. I must get out of the plane, go to a nearby farmhouse, have a 7-Up, and call the police. The safety lecture continues. In the unlikely event, this is a very suspect phrase. Especially coming as it does from an industry that's willing to lie about arrival and departure times. In the unlikely event of a sudden change in cabin pressure, roof flies off. An oxygen mask will drop down in front of you. Please extinguish all smoking materials. Well, I thought this was a non-smoking flight. Does this mean others are speaking? Probably not important during this emergency with 3 inches of jet fuel cascading down the aisle of my feet. Place the mask over your face and breathe normally. Well, I have no problem with that. I always breathe normally when I'm in a 600-mile-an-hour uncontrolled vertical dive. I also shit normally. They tell you to adjust your oxygen mask before helping your child with his. I did not need to be told that. In fact, I'm probably going to be too busy screaming at all. This will be a good time for him to learn self-reliance. If he can program his fucking PCR, he can goddamn tell him to learn with just an oxygen mask. Fairly simple thing, just a little rubber band in the back is all it is. Not nearly as complicated as, say, for instance, a seatbelt. The safety lecture continues. In the unlikely event of a water landing. Well, what exactly is a water landing? Am I mistaken? Or does this sound somewhat similar to crashing into the ocean? I believe what they mean is, in case we crash into the ocean. Your seat cushion can be used as a flotation device. Well, imagine that. My seat cushion. Just what I need. To float around the North Atlantic for several days, clinging to a pillow full of beer farts. By the way, to go back for just a moment, that oxygen that drops down in front of you, they refer to that as supplemental oxygen. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all there is. It isn't supplemental. It's just fucking oxygen. The flight continues now. Toward the end of the flight, we hear, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Well, who gives a shit who turned it on? What does that have to do with anything? It's on, isn't it? And who made this man a captain, might I ask? Did I stick through some sort of an Air Force swearing-in ceremony or something? Captain, he's a fucking pilot and wouldn't be happy with that. If those sightseeing announcements or any markers intellect, he's lucky to be working at all. Tell the captain, Air Marshal Carlin said, go fuck yourself. The next sentence I hear is full of things that piss me off. Before leaving the aircraft, please check around your immediate seating area for any personal belongings you might have brought on board. Well, let's start with immediate seating area. Seat. It's a goddamn seat. Check around your seat for any personal belongings. Well, what other kinds of belongings are there besides personal? Public belongings? Do these people honestly think I might be traveling with a fountain I stole from the park? You might have brought on board. Well, I might have brought my arrowhead collection. I didn't. So I'm not going to look for it. I'm going to look for things I brought on board. If it seems to enhance the likelihood of my finding something, wouldn't you say? Tell me to return my seat back to today's table to their original upright position. Fine. Just going to return this guy the Grateful Dead t-shirt or the fox you back to his original upright position. After time, someone tells you you'll be landing shortly. That sounds like we're going to miss the runway. Final approach is not very promising either. Final is not a good word.